The first questions on the review guide are basically finding the slope from a table. So to remind yourselves, the slope formula, which you will be given on the STAR reference material, that's going to be m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I'm going to erase that little, there we go, that little blip there. Any 2 points. I'm going to go ahead and put my data into Desmos for me. So I'm going to select these 2 points and I'm going to put them in my table. So I'm going to go to Desmos and I'm going to hit the plus button and I'm going to hit the table and I'm going to enter that data. So -2, 0. You could put all 4 points in there, but you only need 2 for this problem, and 1. And then now once I have my table in, I'm going to go ahead and click this add regression button. And this is linear, so I'm looking at my equation just to let you know. The equation given to you is y equals 5x plus 1. So we know the coefficient with the x when we're looking at slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. We know that the coefficient is our m, which is our slope. So our slope for this problem is going to be 5. We're literally going to do the same thing with question number 2. The only difference being is that our table is sideways. So I need to make sure and be careful. Notice that your x values are on top and your y values are on the bottom. So I'm going to go here to my table, hit plus. I'm going to do -3, 0. Remember, you're going this way. And then I'm going to do -13 and 2. Then we're going to hit the add regression button right here. And I'm looking at the equation. Your equation's y equals 5x plus 2. It happens to have the same slope as the first problem. So my slope is 5. Pretty straightforward and simple. All right, I'm going to go ahead and expand out my screen. All right, problems 3 and 4. The biggest thing to notice is a couple of the relationships and to pay attention to your points. So on the first one with the paint coverage, all right, so let's talk about highlighting. So the number of gallons, all right, the area painted with respect to the number of gallons. I'm going to highlight everything in yellow when we're looking at the y values. To remind you, your y value is where you begin, the area painted. So to remind you, it is your rise over your run. So your rise is your vertical values. Your run is going to be your horizontal values. Yes, when I'm looking at my rise, I want to find nice points. And I have a nice point right there. But the reason that I don't want to use that point is because if you look from here to here, it's a half, and we don't want a half. We want to go ahead and be able to plot it a little bit more easier and do a rise of a run. So I'm going to pick that point right there, and I'm going to pick our origin. So that means when you're looking at the rise, you have a rise of 200, 400, and then your run from here to here. If you're doing the rise from here to here and the run from here to here, that's 1. So again, your run is 1 and your rise is 400. Now, 400 is the area painted, so that's going to be 400 feet painted per 1 gallon of paint. Because I'm making sure that you use the verbiage here because some of your answer choices may be related to that verbiage. All right, let's look at number 2. Student at the gym is continuously working out for 15 minutes. So to let ourselves know, so the y is 50 minutes. That's, or not 50 minutes. That is our time, percentage remaining. And then our x is minutes. All right, so the linear function time in minutes, okay? We're looking at the percentage is the y value, remaining minutes. So we want to go to the rate. So I've got this point right here, and I've got this point here. Now I'm using these 2 points that are nice instead of like the 2 consecutive points on the previous problem because if you look here, I have my x value is 5. So my run here is going to be 5, and then my rise is going to be from here to here. That is negative 10, and then our run is 5 from here to here. So that's going to give me a slope of negative 2. Now, that means that we are going to decrease 2% remaining per 1 minute. Okay. All right. 5 and 6, we're dealing with Hoy bucks. We have a 0 slope. So look in Hoy, we've got the O in Hoy. So that lets me know when we're looking at a slope of 0, we're looking at Hoy. This is a horizontal line, 0 slope, and then the equation is going to be the y-intercept. So that's y equals our y-intercept. When you're looking at the point, you have an x and a y. So the y-intercept is the y value of 8. So I'm going to go here to 8, and I'm going to draw a horizontal line. Now we're going to do the next problem. Next problem is undefined. So look in U, we got undefined for U. So that lets me know that we have a vertical line, undefined slope, and then an x-intercept. So now instead of looking at the y value, we're looking at the x value. So that is x is equal to 3. So I'm going to go here to positive 3, and I'm going to draw a vertical line. And we're done. It's that easy. So just remember Hoy-Bucks and talk about writing 0 if we're looking for a 0 slope, or U for a vertical line. Okay, 7 and 8 are writing the equation when we have a vertical line, or horizontal line. So we have a horizontal line there, we have a vertical line there. So we know that this is going to be Hoy, and this one is going to be Bucks. So my equation for Hoy is going to be y equals, what is the y-intercept there? The y-intercept is negative 3. We know Hoy is a 0 slope. Bucks, we have an undefined slope, and the equation is going to be x equals, our x-intercept is at positive 6. It is that easy. All right, I'm going to go through here and we'll talk about, remind you what point slope form is. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right, we got our first point. You got to remember it is always going to be opposite when you put it in. Now, the slope is just going to be normal. The point is going to be what's opposite. Now, remember, this is y. Y is going to be next to the other y. X is going to be next to the other x. So when we put it in, it's going to be opposite. So this 7, since it's positive, it's going to be negative 7. This 3, since it's positive, it's going to be negative 3. So prime example number 10. Okay, we've got x, we got y, and I'm keeping it in blue and keeping with what we've been doing. This slope does not change. It's not the opposite. It is what it is. Okay, that 5, since it's positive, it's negative 5. This 2, since it's negative, it becomes plus 2. So all you got to remember is that point is opposite. All right, now we're going to write it all together. I'm going to write my point slope form underneath just so that I can remember. So this is going to be y, and then that's opposite, so that becomes plus 8 equals our slope, 2/3, x, that's opposite, so minus 1. Okay, notice everything's lined up just like it is.